Hello everybody, it's Andy here, aka Montolio, and we're back for a vintage challenge today, and we're going to be playing some blue-black Lurrus Control. And this is a deck I've been playing for, well, several months now, but on and off, switching between Esper and the Demir version, and I would say the last couple months I've audibled towards this list here, and yeah, just relatively stock. I think that this is pretty run-of-the-mill stuff at this stage in the game, although I have done a couple metagame tinkers that we'll talk about in a few minutes. But right now the metagame is white initiative, Jewel, Raker Shops, and of course you get the Esper and Lurrus builds smattered in between those. And of course you do see Dredge pop up now and again. But that's essentially where we're at these days. And I feel like this deck has game against all of them. Doomsday is another one too, but that's a far smaller percentage of the metagame pie, and we have game against them as well. So initiative, I think, is the most challenging matchup for this deck, and I've tried to make some accommodations today towards that. I feel like when you're on the draw against initiative, it's very difficult to be able to win those games. And Chancellor of the Annex, of course, is a very important card for the opponent if they have it. It hurts our chances significantly of being able to win. If they don't have it, we can win, both play and draw. And one of the things that I have done today is I've added a Snuff Out. And I don't like linear cards like Snuff Out because Snuff Out is essentially only good against cats and against the mono white initiative. It doesn't really have utility in the mirror, and so I am going to run it because I just am looking for an instant way that costs me no mana to be able to remove a creature to try and get back in versus having to use mana to remove a creature instead of casting a creature. It's a small nuance, but it does matter. And so I'm going to try it out today because initiative is just everywhere and it's doing really well. And I am losing to it at least 50% of the time. So that's one slight change I've made today. As you can see, I do have a seal of removal in the main. I'm just looking for ways to be able to disrupt my opponent. And seal is pretty linear, but when you get into mirror matches and being able to remove an opposing frog, or you are sending back a big white plume or something like that, it does have good utility that way. You can send back worm coils, master cores, whatever it may be. There's a lot of creatures in the metagame right now, and we're going to try it out. And in the least, it pitches to the 7 forces that I have in my deck, which is not nothing. I can pitch it to Frog and recur it later. So it does have some utility in this deck. It's not a card I've really ever played with in these builds, but I came across it today and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. I think it's reasonable. And Removal Suite, 3 pushes main, 1 momentum breaker. I really do like momentum breaker. Last weekend I had a particular game where I was able to recur it 3 times from the yard. It just completely took over the game single-handedly. It's a really strong card. I've got another one in my sideboard. One of the deficiencies of this deck versus the Esper build is that you don't have Swords to Plowshares to remove hollow ones, master cores, worm coils, those sort of things. And momentum breaker does mimic that somewhat because you can remove those big creatures with it. And obviously with a worm coil it's not ideal because they're getting 2 tokens back, but we can manage worm coil tokens far more than we can a 6/6 lifelinker. And yeah, I still got that main deck consigned. I think it's pretty reasonable in the current metagame right now. In the least it does pitch, and I've got that main deck Mindbreak Trap. These slots are opened up because we have two null rods, so we don't really have any of this stuff that recurs, like Nihil Spell Bomb. I don't have any Mishra's Baubles, anything like that in the deck, so we don't get the same utility out of Lurrus out of this build because I'm running null rods, but I do think null rod is still just a really good metagame call. Where it hurts me a little bit having them is that when I run into mirrors, null rod is essentially a brick for me. It's not a card I really want to have in my deck. Yes, I can stop their spell bombs and things like that, or their baubles, but that's not really what you want to be doing. So that's pretty much what we're doing in the main deck here. And sideboard, yeah, I've opted for the ley lines. I still think Dredge is out there. It's doing really well, and there's just no better way to beat Dredge. I also, depending on what type of breach I'm playing against, like if I'm playing against Dissolutionist Breach, I do not mind bringing in Leyline. It's a little bit of a gut call at that particular time, but really all they have to kill you is a Lurrus and a Urza Saga. They do need their graveyard to be able to kill Leyline. We can cast Leyline if it does get bounced back, and you know what? If they're trying to bounce my Leyline, then we have ways to combat that with our robust counter package. So I know there are people out there that don't think that Leyline is good against outright breach, but I beg to differ. I think it can be extremely powerful against them, and it slows them down in the least significantly for us to try and employ our plan. And yeah, I've got obviously a pretty robust removal suite in the sideboard here. We got the extra fatal push, the two long goodbyes. If you've watched my videos, you know I'm a big advocate for long goodbye, that momentum breaker. I've got the third null rod there for the jewel and combo raker shops builds and the Tezzerets that are running around, and I've opted to run the three consigns for the full package. Obviously, got good splash damage against Doomsday in addition to any type of colorless spell. One of the deficiencies of Consign versus having a Steel Sabotage is it does not hit Metamorph, which is actually something. I have lost because of that on multiple occasions, but overall the benefit outweighs the risk, with hitting jewels and rings. And got Tabernacle. I have been playing two for a really long time in this build, but Dredge is not too popular right now, and I'm cheating a little bit here, and it's of course totally possible to get rolled over, but we are going to hope that we dodge it today. And I've got Lurrus of the Dream Den, the hero. All right, guys, if you haven't done so, please do like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you round one. Okay, guys, here we are in round one. Won the die roll. Very likely we're playing against Jewel Shops, and this hand is not good enough against Jewel. Have to mulligan that one. Unfortunately, we don't have a blue spell here, but I do think we have to keep this one. We have one of our best cards in Null Rod, and if we can find a blue card next turn, we can protect it. And we got an awful lot of hits for a blue card. Now, we could die turn one. It's not likely. And it's possible my Jewel opponent will take a turn to set up. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. It's just too much of a losing proposition for me to go down to 5 cards to look for a Force of Will turn one, and then what? This has some tools in it, and our plan is pretty reasonable. Question is, do we want to play Underground Sea first, presuming that they're on Jewel and hoping not to get wastelanded? I think it's probably safer to play the island, and if we opt to strip mine. All right, guys, let's cross our fingers. Let's hope it's just a setup turn. Oh, wow. That's so lucky for us. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon, but all right, blue card, please. Well, we have to go for it here. I don't have the luxury of waiting. Bit bad luck finding another land there. It did get in. I'll take the basic because I have wastelands on my deck, and we just have to hope there's weakness there with lands. I'm not going to flash the Bowmaster in upkeep. If it gets countered, I think that's totally fine. I don't want to give them an opportunity to just copy it with a Metamorph. Yep, did bait me on that workshop. All right, well, Frog was a nice one. I guess if they copy this with a Metamorph, it's a lot easier for me to get them with the Momentum Breaker. I mean, it is somewhat greedy, but I am going to play it here because it will absolutely spur me ahead in the game if it functions. Yep. Ooh, interesting. They took my Bowmaster. So a little bit punished for my line there. I don't think your average person would have done that. I think they would have gone after the frog because their frog will be bigger than my frog. You know, I'm not averse to a force of will here. Not going to fly. I'm going to get my Lurrus here. My Lurrus will help race. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Haha, nice. Well, what do I want to do here? I think I can probably attack in. Your go. I feel like we're in pretty good control here. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could Bowmaster here, but I don't feel like I need to do that. I think I'm just going to go get a Wasteland here. And we found a blue card, which is great for Force of Will. And we'll mop up this Metamorph here next turn. Yeah. All right, Seal of Cleansing, or Seal of Removal looked all right there, right? I actually think Seal's probably pretty decent in this matchup because I am wanting to send back Masticores and Worm Coils. Do I want Snuff Out? Or would I prefer a blue card? I feel like I'm probably better with a blue card. Mental Misstep doesn't do much. Maybe just bring a Daze, just as a pitch spell. I think this is fine. Feels nice to have 4 Consign to Memory, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it. It's a bit dangerous. Pretty reasonable chance they play into Mindbreak Trap here. No? Okay. No, I can't resist killing a Workshop here. Don't mind Frog. It's not what I'm looking for. Not really looking for that either. I could Wasteland them here. My only concern is, like, if a Mastercore comes down, it's pretty bad for me. But I really like the idea of being able to protect a Null Rod with a Spell Pierce. That may just be unrealistic to do that. I think I'm going to Wasteland them here. Take another chance for me to find a Force next turn. I do have Spell Pierce up here, which is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite. I think I'm going to sit on Bowmaster and Spell Pierce here, and next turn I can Null Rod. Funny thing is, they can pay for my Spell Pierce now. So that's not a very good thing for me in this situation. Let's figure out what's going on here. They do have Force of Will. Master Core Metamorph. I think I have to dig here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's pretty scary, actually. I could play Null Rod. They'll just counter it, and I can't do anything. But next turn, I know they're going to tap their mana down. It's just kind of a scary position for me. If they force this, I'm pretty happy about it. Okay. Currently, I'm having to discard here, which I'm obviously not thrilled about. I could brainstorm. Maybe I just do that. All right, what do I want to discard? Probably should have thought a little bit more about this. I guess I just discard a Bowmaster. Actually, maybe I just discard Saga. Yeah, I don't really care that much about the Saga. Don't really care that much about the Bowmaster either, to be honest with you. But they do have a ring and a jewel here, so we'll see. 1. They're going to Metamorph. I'm going to force it. And I see if they force me back. Hopefully they do. Maybe this is a mistake. Yeah, my opponent outsmarted me there. I think I'm going to go get another Force of Will here. That was a bad play on my part. I should not have forced that. I don't give a damn about the Bowmaster. I just was sure that they were going to force back. Turning on my Mindbreak Trap. Okay. Now, I could slam Null Rod here. It's like a strip mine. Maybe I do that. Probably I'm going to get rid of Frog here, but I don't know. The Master Core is really scary. They just let it resolve. Wow. My opponent is showing some discipline here. I don't know how I feel about that. Legend rule themselves. They're going to time walk here. Not fight over a time walk. Okay. I don't know if my opponent should have conceded there. We'll take it. Okay. Playing Viet. They like the Lurrus PO build, I believe. So no rod is relevant in that match. I've opted not to play Vexing Bauble today in place of the Seal. I have mixed feelings about Vexing Bauble in control builds, especially with no rod where you don't have the parachute to sacrifice it with no rod in play. It obviously can be very good, but was trying to give myself a little bit more value with the Seal today. But of course, Vexing Bauble in situations where you are playing against PO can be quite relevant. Okay, my hand is not great, but I do have the ability to get a null run on turn 2 potentially, so I think I'm going to keep this. Obviously, wish I could hold up Spell Pierce turn 1. This hand's not great, but it does have null rod, and that is big game. Now that I've sat here for a few minutes, I think that this could be a mulligan. Seal is not great in this matchup. Frog is, I'm nowhere near close to casting it. Like, I kind of kept this off the back of a null rod, but I think that this was more of a greedy keep than need be. Did not expect to see that, guys. So we're playing Control. Interesting. So we need to be a bit more careful with our mana here. Hmm. Hmm. I think I need to get a basic. I'm not happy about it, but let's hope we draw a land here. Punished immediately for doing the basic here. I could seal this thing back. I'm probably going to cast Seal. There are times in this deck where you are trying to protect your mana base and you end up getting a basic, only to be punished because you can't find a black source. Yep, that's not a surprise. I'm not averse to that line. Okay, thank goodness I got a basic there. That does punish me, though, doesn't it? Swamp or a Delta is what I'm looking for. Do I even care? I mean, I guess I go to their turn to do it. Yeah. We are looking for a black source here, guys. Awful. Okay. Pretty tough spot for us here. We have 18 lands in our deck. Get Lurrus here. Oh boy, guys. Yep. It's pretty awful. Yep. Cannot stop it with Lavinia. Okay, a little bit heartbreaking there. We had a ton of time. I just wasn't even worried about the Lavinia. And we just never found another land, which is pretty heartbreaking. So we're going to get rid of this fluff here. I don't think I want Snuff Out. Mindbreak trait, bad, and so is Negation in general. Consign, I don't want. Negation, I guess, is better there. You typically don't want Negation. Yeah, this just doesn't do anything in the match. I feel like we had our chances that game, I'll tell you. I'm going to keep here. So what I can do, I guess strip mine, there's not much I can do about that. I was going to say I can get my basics this game. Yep, Saga. Just get Lurrus here. Um, so I just don't think I can worry about non-basics here. Negation. It's not what I'm really looking for. Play this out. And next turn I probably can dig through time. Nihil Spellbomb, yeah. Going to Bowmaster here. I do realize they have their own Bowmaster, but we got to get going on things here. Demonic Tutor. I don't mind Demonic Tutor, to be honest with you. Gonna cast it. And I think I get a Wasteland, right? I think so. I guess I could have actually pushed that because now they're going to go after my yard, which is not ideal. I'm just going to nuke my yard right now. It's pretty reasonable. Okay. Hmm. Now they have a bunch of stuff in hand here. They are close to actually just casting Lurrus, but I have a force in my hand, so I think it's probably all right. If they pierce me here, yeah, it sucks, but I will attack, and we're winning the damage race here. They do have a black source for the relic, unfortunately. Are they just going to go for Lurrus? Frog. Okay. Love a blue source. I'm not going to complain. They have treasure cruise as well. Kind of in a bad spot right now. Disappointing loss. We were not getting out of that. My opponent was about to time walk, then they were going to treasure cruise, and we can't block them, so they were going to get 2 free hits with their frog. We just can't come back from that. Okay, looks like we're going to have a mirror here. Yeah, it's like I don't have mana, but like I'm going to be left with a Mox, but double Bowmaster. The other option is, as I could Demonic Tutor, go and get an Ancestral. I mean, that's not great. I feel like I have to keep this. It's very reliant on finding a land, though. Okay, that is something. It's aggressive for me to Wasteland here, but I don't want to play into a Spell Pierce unnecessarily. Okay. Um, I think I'm going to take a gamble here, and I'm going to double Bowmaster here. And just kind of go all in on the Bowmasters, and we'll see how it works out. And hopefully we can find a land here, a blue source next turn. Okay, I will fight over this, I believe. Just given the way my hand is set up here, they did have the days, actually. Okay. So that was a good wasteland for us. We need a land. See if this gets through. Doesn't look like it. Okay, this is a bit awkward. We're hellbent here. Uh-oh. So they're going on the saga here. Construct. Days is not bad. All right, well, let's just attack with our orc army. And we're going to play our Lurrus and hope it gets in. It does. It's a close game for sure here. We're in a precarious spot, but they are at 6 life, and the Bowmasters are not easy to get rid of with a Lurrus in play anyways. So they are making another construct here. Makes sense. They're going to be bigger than everything I'm doing currently. They do have Lotus. Not bad. In this particular circumstance, it's I guess I'm going to get wastelanded off my blue source is the only issue. It does take me off mana though. That's the issue I'm faced with here. And I really want to be able to get this Lurrus, but if they find another land, they're just going to wasteland me off days. What's my best gambit? Or do I take their 3 mana away plus their bauble and then worry about Bowmaster next turn? Problem is I'm just getting wastelanded out. That's the problem. Yeah, it's kind of a game decision here. Do I leave them with the mana and let them try and cast Lurrus and leave days up? Like if they don't find a land, that plan might work. But if they do find a land, my plan falls apart, and they're able to kind of do it all. But Lurrus isn't even the end all be all here. I think I attack with a Bowmaster, and we just try and grow our stuff here. And hopefully our days will still work with a recast Bowmaster. That I will tap my Underground Sea to make it seem like I don't have counter magic. They probably want to take this hit. All right, here goes my gambit, guys. Let's see if it pays off. Okay. Do I bring the blue source back to my hand just to protect myself for another turn that I can have it next turn? In case they draw a wasteland? I mean, they would have played it, right? I mean, I think I'm going to just do it this way. Wow. So if I attack with the Orc army and they just block it, what if I attack with both my Bowmasters? They double block them, and then they crack their bauble because I'll only have one trigger. I just attack with one, I think. Do I play null rod here? I don't think so. Don't want that. Okay, here we go. Um, Thinking their upkeep, I will do it. Like I feel if they had a bowmaster, they would have done it. Okay. It does grow the constructs. Hmm. Like, can I kill them here? But the problem is if they have like if I get blown out by a bowmaster or something, right? I could attack with everything here. They block Lurrus. They block a bowmaster. Or they block Lurrus. They block the orc army. No. One more turn here. Let's try this. I've been commentating this whole time with my headset out. I didn't realize. I do. I mean, I can hardcast Force of Will next turn if I find something. I don't know that Null Rod really does much here. So I think I'm just going to pass. We got to watch our time here too. Probably can just go all in now. I just won't attack with Lurrus. They take one here, and I recast a Bowmaster. Let's see. You got it. Do apologize, guys. I'm not used to recording with my headset. I'm trying to make my audio a little bit better here, and had my headset just sitting on the table that entire match practically. Not ideal, eh? Okay, so Null Rod. I think we made a good decision not casting Null Rod there. It was very tempting. I don't think we need Consign. Force Negation is pretty poor. Like Snuff Out and a mirror just doesn't do anything. So we'll play this one. Got to play a little bit quicker this game. Yep, nice looking hand. I think I might take this opportunity to flash Bowmaster in. It's kind of aggressive, but I like the fact I've got days up here for Frog or a Bowmaster, and if they cast a Frog, that would be great. Okay, they are going to do it during my turn. Force of Will was decent. All right, let's get her going. They do have Bowmaster here. All right, well, I think I'm going to take this opportunity to hardcast days. And that worked. Okay, that's great for me. We're pretty vulnerable here, but it is what it is. I don't think we want that. Now, if they play a Frog here, we do have the Fatal Push and gives us an opportunity to find a blue card off top. See, if they Wasteland me, that's great for me. Because I have 2 lands in hand here still. Yep, they've got their Bowmaster. Okay. Here you go. Can't stop a Time Walk, really. It's not a good use of my resources here. Maybe should have blocked there. It's not something I've ever really given a lot of thought to, but it quite often happens where Orc armies are attacking Orc armies. Yeah. Yeah, they did have another Wasteland. Okay. A little bit of a dangerous situation here, but I don't think we have much choice. I feel like we have to get Lurrus in here and hope for the best. They've only got 2 cards left in hand here. Okay. I will. Wasteland does screw me up, but I got to keep the Force of Will here, I think, in hopes that I find another one. Okay, no, nothing to be played. Just hope they don't. They're hellbent here. Blue card would be good for me. Okay, it doesn't matter now. They're Polaris. All right, I really want a blue card now. That is a blue card. Okay, so they have Lurrus, so I'm just going to proactively. Guess I don't have to. See if they block. Okay. We've got a Force here for the Lurrus, so hopefully they don't find a Pierce off the top. That would suck. I don't like. I could kill this thing, the Orc army, but I don't know that it's worth it, right? I don't think it is. Not optimal, but if I draw a frog or something, we have an answer to it. I may change my mind here at some point, but I want to be somewhat judicious with the use. Oof, Jesus. Okay, well, nothing I can do about it. And hopefully they did not find another orc there. Or a bowmaster. Okay, that's gone. Because they could have flashed it in their bowmaster in. All right, let's see. Frog, yep. Okay. Played on land. They have a second frog. Okay, well, I can kill one of them. And I am going to proactively just do that. Going to thin my deck out a bit. Oh, they conceded. I don't know they should have done that. Okay, Bowmaster would have been definitely good enough here because I was attacking for 4. I definitely was going to attack with Lurrus. 7. They could have discarded. Yeah, like the Bowmaster would have been enough. Okay, we are in round 4. I think Freejet is a mono white initiative player. Unfortunate, we're on the draw. And I remembered to put my headset on this time, so hopefully the audio is a little bit better for you. Against initiative, no land, but I've got 2 hard counter spells to be able to mess with their mana, which perhaps could give me enough time to buy my way in. I also can get through a Chancellor trigger with double force here. I think I'm going to keep this. Being on the draw gives me a look at an extra land. Like when you're on the draw against initiative, it's just very tricky as to what to do. And obviously, this hand at its crux is not great against almost any other deck in the field. But against white initiative, it could be good enough to get me into the mid game. I'm going to keep it. We did not see a Chancellor. If I get in, okay, so this is a fight. What I was going to say is I am going to pitch the frog here, and I'm going to try and preserve the force of will. Okay, I am going to strip mine that, and hopefully we can find a land next turn that produces blue mana, as Ancestral would be very good here. It's aggressive of me to do it, but we've got 17 other lands in our deck. Obviously, would not be optimal to draw a Wasteland in this particular spot, but I still would take it. Because it will continue allowing me to tempo my opponent here. We still have 2 forces. Okay. So a bit punished. Okay, they did have another ancient tomb. That's unfortunate. How much do I care about Clarion Conqueror? I think this is not where I pick my fight. It's not optimal to let them have a creature here, but this is not a creature that is working at its best against me, and I have a removal in my hand. It's going to allow them to double spell. Oh, it actually, thank God, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't do anything. I almost forced it. My opponent is double queued here. Okay, we need a blue source now. Blue and black source. There it is. Okay. Better late than never, guys. They didn't play anything last turn. Did they just have a mitt full of lands? I'm almost wondering, if they're just trying to bait me on a wasteland line here. Part of me hopes they do cast something here so I can force or like pitch something because I'm about to overdraw. Okay, well, do I just get a basic here, guys? I could just daze this too. I'm going to get a basic against my better judgment. I'm going to ancestral myself and I'll make a decision as to what I'd like to do. Okay, we did find mana. Not crazy about having to do that. I open myself up now without the force of will, but I just really am not in a position to daze here. If I was on the play, perhaps on the draw, I need to start getting some pressure going here. My opponent of note is down to 10 life here. Not a great draw. They did leave their mana untapped though once early in the game. Perhaps they do have a swords here. My life is getting low here as well. White Plume Adventure is a good one. It's pretty awkward here, guys. Are they just sandbagging Wasteland? My gut is that they have mana in their hand outside of that planes they just drew. Yeah, they did do that. Fortunately, the Clarion Conqueror will untap. Lore Revealed means I still have mana here. A little bit awkward. Has to be an underground sea. Yeah, very awkward. We are losing this one. They're scrying. Yeah, they're just flooded. They just have land. The fact they're doing that means they have land. Two bottom, please. So our gut was correct here. One top, one bottom. That is not ideal. Oh, I'm so lucky here. And I believe this triggers revolt. Does it? It is my belief they are really flooded here. Do I take that Clarion Conqueror away and open up their mana? Because the Clarion Conqueror I can't currently block. But they're at 5 life here. I'm going to kill the white plume here. I think I can race them. I wish I let them attack first, but I don't have the ability to do that. I am winning this race here. I've held them back. Okay. Force of Will was a nice card. I can take the initiative from them here. I think it's worth it. We get the initiative. Okay. Yep. Yep. I go into the Forge next turn. And so I put it on my Bowmaster, and they can only block 1, so I would deal them 2 damage minimum. Okay, that was a nice win. Their Ancient Tomb did a lot of damage there, and I think we had a pretty good read on what they were trying to do. Like, it didn't take me long to figure out that they're flooded and they were sandbagging lands, because when White Initiative leaves 1 white and 2 colorless open and passes the turn with 5 cards in hand, you can surmise that they do not have multiple Chancellors and Seasoned Dungeoneers in hand. The probability is quite low that they're not able to cast those, and more likely that they are on lands. There were multiple tells the way they went into the scry aspect of the Undercity instead of putting the Forge on something. Like, they were looking for stuff. Of course, they did come up with that Wasteland very quickly. All right, so what do we want to do here? Let's take a look. So Daze is pretty poor on the draw. Then Consign, despite it has some text, is not great. I do like my Mindbreak Trap. I could see maybe cutting a Spell Pierce on the draw. Let's do this. Glad we brought on the Snuff out this time. Okay, looks good. They did reveal a Chancellor here. It's an interesting decision. Let's shut their man off right now. I think what I do is I get a basic island. The problem is I don't actually have Snuff Out up, though, if I do that. Maybe I just burn my jet. I don't know. If this was a polluted delta, it'd be a lot better because I could just go get a black source. I don't know. I could. Funny enough, I'm not far away from Lurrus here. Okay, I don't think we have to burn the Chancellor trigger right now. I just have to remember it's there. Okay. I think I do scry here. Long goodbye. Do I want long goodbye? I have 2 pieces of removal already. No. Okay. Three, and I could put Lurrus into play here. Now, what if they have a Swords to Plowshares and I do that with Lurrus? Do I care? Oh, I can't actually do that this turn. How badly do I want to get Bowmaster in this turn? Another thing is I could draw 3 cards. All right, just pass turn here. I can do Snuff Out on a whim here if I need to. I'm probably going to do it. Maybe I'll just take 3 more here. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. Snuff Out does come at a cost here. Okay, I think I will take this 3. I'm hoping they don't have land. Time Walk is not bad. Um, get another Underground Sea here. Maybe they have a Swords, I don't know. Okay. Look, it's a bit risky. It just is what it is. Okay, that gives me some protection. Okay, your go. Yep. Okay, nice win for us there, guys. Okay, here we are in round 5. Did not win the die roll. Okay, we're playing against Lurrus. We have a nice looking hand here. Force of Will missed up in turn 1. Frog. Definitely happy with that. Just looked at this player's MTG Goldfish results, and they have a substantial amount of range. Playing Beseech Storm, Dredge, Sphere Shops, Oops All Spells. They could have a Pierce here. Okay, I am going to get a Frog going here. It's extremely powerful if it works. Do I get a Swamp here? Only way I get punished for this is if they have a Prismatic Ending or we draw Daze. But I like ensuring my 2 colors in what is likely to be, well, not likely, it may or may not be a control mirror. This could be combo. The question is, if they play their own Frog, do we counter it? Saga, okay. Okay, I like Spell Pierce here. We are looking for a Wasteland. So I can Bowmaster and hold up Spell Pierce, which is pretty good. But I think the likelihood that they were going to sit back on their Saga is fairly high. The other option is I can forsake that and I can play a second Frog, which I think is just better. Like, frogs are really powerful here, and it gives me that much more of a chance to try and be able to draw Wasteland. Yep, they are doing that. Okay, so I liked our line then. Okay. Okay, the land was good at least. So they're going to have a couple constructs here. I think I just Bowmaster their one construct here. I guess I can Fatal Push it. That might even be better. Yeah. Now, obviously, if they get a Vexing Bauble here, it's not optimal. I guess my question is do I flash in Bowmaster right now? I maybe do. So they spent 2 turns making constructs, and we removed them all. Now, Vexing Bauble could be good here. It is indeed Vexing Bauble. Okay, they've got Wasteland here, and I think that's fine. We're drawing a lot of cards here. I am not going to pitch my creatures here, guys. Or my forces. I don't feel like I need to do that. The question is, do I want the second Bowmaster here? I don't feel like I necessarily need to do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have not played a land. I feel like they're playing the Cats deck. Okay, 7 cards in hand, so I'm feeling like we're in a pretty strong position here. If they're on cats, you want the Bowmaster to be able to kill their cat, and we're not forced to force it. Like, I'm just trying to think of decks that actually run. Oh, Lavinia. Oh, wow. Okay, so maybe this is not cats. Okay. Well, I can answer this very easily. They're likely going to try and force here, is my guess, because they're so far behind. Maybe this is just Esper, which is Esper usually does not have a plains in it. Maybe it's just straight blue white. It certainly feels like Control, but I think they're playing cats. Snuff Out is good in that match. Consign, I don't need. Days in the draw is likely not amazing. Neither is Mindbreak Trap. Force of Negation is not really very good. Actually, if they are cats, we definitely want a Tabernacle. Things get out of control. Tabernacle is quite strong. I just feel like Negation is not that great in Days, despite it sets you back and it's not amazing on the draw. This is quite often a battle of attrition for lands when you're playing these types of matches. It's like a control match, right? So I could see the Days maybe being better than the Force of Negation, but yeah, Tabernacle is a reasonable thing to bring in this match. Okay. Yeah. My mana is a little bit suspect in this particular game, but or hand. Don't think I can ship it. Being on the draw also makes us better that we maybe can find ourselves another land. Like a fetch would be optimal. Would love a Mox. Lotus would be fantastic. Okay. All right. I'm going to play this out in hopes that I can set up a frog next turn. Basic, okay. They didn't get a plains, which would lead more towards a cat. Pushes D's. I think it's just a really strong chance that they have a Swords to Plowshares here. Oh, that's what they're playing. Okay. If they go for a Dreadnought here, it's so good for me. Hopefully they don't have another land here either. All right. I didn't have a land, guys. Frog is pretty good here. I got a swords, it feels like. Can I fight over this, guys? I don't feel like it's unreasonable. I got Flusterstorm or Pure Speed anyways. Okay. They're going to put in a dress down. Yep. Long Goodbye is decent. I really would like to be able to get my Lurrus going here, but floundering on lands a bit. Stock up is a good one. Yikes. We've got some pretty good removal, though. Like, I've played this deck a substantial amount, and it's very reliant on their dreadnoughts to kill you. Like, I think Urza Saga would be the worst thing they could do to me here. All right, this one's kind of not panning out like I'd hoped. Okay. That's an ugly one. I just hope I don't get wastelanded. Polaris, come on. Yep. Lavinia, okay. I will fatal push that. Yeah, not bad. I've now got Force of Will on. What'll be awkward for me is if I no longer can apply any pressure. What do I feel about that? They're going to get something back from their graveyard with Lurrus. There's nothing I can do to stop that. Well, presuming that Lurrus resolves, I will counter Lurrus. I guess maybe the question is, do I counter Lurrus here? Because I can just kill Lurrus. They're going to get to cast something out of their graveyard. And I have so much creature removal. I'm going to let it resolve. It's like 2 cards for 2 cards, except I get rid of their best card. Maybe. No. I was going to say, maybe I wait on Fatal Push or something, but we're just going to use the Long Goodbye for its best feature. Yeah, that was great for me. What is awkward about this particular scenario here is it shuts off my Force of Will and my Snuff Out, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Yep. Hopefully it's not a Flusterstorm they have. That would be a bummer. Frog is pretty good here. I got to get rid of this thing. Okay, 1 card in hand. Soon to be 2. Playing around Spell Pierce very keenly here. Oh, no, they're not. All right, well, I will counter that. Well, they do have a Flusterstorm. Very nice. I do. Do I counter this, guys? Like, if we can find our way to Lurrus here, that will go a long way. Frog is a good draw. Lurrus. Okay, that helps. Well, they've whittled my resources down pretty good here. They could flash in a Doorkeeper on me to kill one of my orcs, but... Okay. Oops. That was a mistake. I meant to flash my guy in. Yep. So they're going to just crack it immediately. I do kill them here. I think it's okay. I think I can be patient. This does kill them here if they crack that bauble. They did not crack the bauble. I think I do it now. Okay, it's going in. Like, they don't have a balance in their deck. No, I think I can let it resolve. Because the bauble's going to stay in play no matter what now. Unless they have a Swords to Plowshares. But I'm playing around a balance here. That's probably not in their deck. And their Force of Wills are off because of Vexing Bauble. Sorry about all that noise, guys. There's someone out doing some whippersnipping or leaf blowing outside my window here. Okay, my opponent's tanking pretty good here. If they fetch, my Bowmaster kills them. There is a Doorkeeper Thrall. Okay. This does shut my Bowmaster off. I'm going to flash it in right now. Because that damage matters. Because if they have a fetch land in their hand that they're trying to use, this Bowmaster is going to be really good. Okay, nice win for us, guys. Okay, guys, here we are in round 6. Playing Mayhem DJ, and they are very likely playing Raker Shops. And this is a pretty good hand. We're going to keep this one. We do have 2 main deck Null Rods, which are good. Very good against Raker Shops. Okay. I guess there's a world that could be bizarre, but I'm going to Ancestor myself. Okay. I guess the question is what am I doing next turn? I mean, I could daze this, but I don't really want to do that because I'm going to have to discard. Because if I'm going to wasteland them and hold up Spell Pierce, that is a real thing. But I feel like getting Frog into play is pretty good here too. I'm going to negate it. I guess I could just Time Walk and then have Pierce. Hmm. Honestly, not sure which one's better there, guys. That was a good draw. Do I just wasteland them here now? I feel like Time Walk is just a better thing to do here. Let's just get ourselves a bit ahead here. Oh, jeez, I didn't scry. That was a bit of a mistake. Ooh, that's nasty. Okay, we'll sit on Pierce here. Next turn, we will go after their mocks. I don't know that I played this one right, guys. A little bit disappointing. So this is Jewel. Don't think I need a second Bowmaster. That's not bad either. All right, well, let's get a thing in here. I was just going to cast another frog there. Nice to have the seal of removal here, guys, to help me against worm coils and masticores. It's actually just a really clean answer to it, if I can get them to go. Now, I don't think my opponent's playing Wastelands. Probably can get rid of a swamp here. I think Daze is probably likely to go here. I don't really like lowering my blue count, but all of my blue spells are otherwise very good here. Like Mental Misstep is not great. It hits, I guess, Key. It hits Soul Ring. Okay, that's enough. I think I like Ataxian Probe better than Daze. I do think that Daze is more functional on the draw, especially when you're running Note Rods, which is part of our active game plan as we want to get those in. I don't know. I'm going to keep the Ataxian Probe here. Okay, Okay, that's really good. We have interaction. We've got big turn one play, two of them actually, in Psychic Frog and Null Rod. Yep. Give me a ring. Do I care with Null Rod? I probably do, because if the Null Rod gets countered, it's bad for me. Okay. If they force back here, I'm very happy with that. Okay. Because that means the likelihood they have another force is very low. Meaning that my rod is likely to resolve here. Okay. Yeah, they're F6'd. All right, guys. Now, they could have Metamorph here. Ooh, Saga, okay. Okay. It's pretty good, guys. I'm not going to lie. Yikes. We need a land here. Off our scry. Yeah, we did find one. Okay. Yeah, it was kind of a perfect storm. They actually got, of note, a land, an ancient tomb for the Urza Saga as well. So I think what we do here is we're going to fly in. Can I kill them here? If I discard the Momentum Breaker, that'll put them to 8. No. Because they have that active ring there. Okay. Yeah, the construct here is pretty decent. It's going to put a lot of pressure on me. Oh, Psychic Frog. Shit. Needle. Yeah. Okay, well, look. We're not in a great spot, I would say. My opponent had to rip really nicely for that to work. I'll tell you that much. Jeez. Yeah, we are losing this game. Oh, My opponent didn't name Psychic Frog. They used Wasteland. Okay. Seven, 10. I can fly in here. They're going to go down 1, 4. Yeah, I think I'm not going to be able to fly next turn is the issue. 10. They'd have to play 2 lands. Okay. Discard. So, Strip Mine is not bad here. This is lifelink, right? They're going to go up to 8. They're going to go up to 8. Seven. I have life gain here as well. 5. So if I could kill their workshop here, and I can gain some incidental life gain here as well. So Strip Mine, I will be able to fly next turn. Question is, do I want to Strip Mine? Because them using their Ancient Tomb is pretty bad for them. If I find another land next turn, I could pull Lurrus. That doesn't do much. So it would be 5. So they're going to go down to 4. They're going to go up to 7. 5. One more for their Ancient Tomb. And I die. This Bowmasters might be my best draw. But what if I don't wasteland them and they don't have 2 artifacts? Because I don't feel like they have. Why wouldn't they have played an artifact last turn? Do I have to Strip Mine them? I do die. I'm going to live and die by the sword here, guys. Yeah, Metamorph. Yeah, Metamorph is pretty bad for me. I have no more. I guess Seal is the only thing I have in my deck. Okay. Oh, ring. Seal. Oh, this is so heartbreaking. They can attack me for 7 and I have to chump block. Seven. I'm literally just so short of this. That's enough to get me, guys, unfortunately. All right. Well, I think my opponent made a mistake there, putting Pithing Needle on Wasteland. That was a tough one to lose. I was feeling quite secure that we were going to be locking it up there. Snuff out any good in this matchup? It just might be. All right. Do I prefer Snuff Out over Momentum Breaker? Maybe I do. Let's try this out. Oh, that mana is really awkward, guys. Ugh. Got some good counter magic. I just don't think that this is allowing us to play magic. Yeah, we might lose this one, unfortunately. I do think I have to keep this. They've mulliganed as well. It's probably okay. One. Yep. Two. I'm going to put it on Wasteland. That means they're short on land, likely. Do I play Frog out? Try and get ahead in card advantage. Hope that my opponent doesn't have anything going next turn. Do I use Bowmaster, hold up Spell Pierce in case they draw a land into a ring, which would be devastating? Or do I Demonic Tutor for something? I mean, Null Rod is really what I would want. It's a Mastercore. So that's unfortunate. But it's not the end-all be-all. I could go get Seal. Seal of Cleansing. They just replay it though, right? Do I just go and get an Ancestral? Versus a Pointed Answer? I feel like Ancestral might be my best bet here. I guess I have Snuff out here too, eh? Yeah, I kind of like that. Gonna make them discard a card. Yes, they're gonna kill my Bowmaster likely, but I think it's worth it. Oh, they discarded a land. Like, do I do it now? Let them draw a card. It's a good one. I honestly don't know that I can play the frog here. This is what's so challenging in these circumstances, right? You're giving them a chance to draw stuff, but I just feel like it's not a good idea for us to be tapping out right now without protection. Ooh, this is a bit scary for a PO. Yeah, I'm kind of paralyzed here, unfortunately. Not this is really scary. Like I'm just too scared to tap out, but I'm letting them draw cards here, which is okay. I'm glad that we waited because that's a very powerful card that they're playing there. Okay, that gives me some levity. Dismember? Just have to hope they brick here. I'm really hoping I don't have to burn my force here. I'll feel bad that I was patient there. They did find something. Yep. Gonna take the gamble here, guys. I've been patient all game, but it's just a raw top deck for them, and let's hope they don't find anything. Okay, they did not. Now a PO would be. Oh, I guess they're at 4 life here, so it wouldn't be the end all be all. But I'm hoping that's not what they do. Just hope they don't find anything or make this game interesting. Oh, I guess what I could have done is sealed my orc there, but I'm not going to come. I mean, I wasn't going to come off consign there, but it is a line because when I untap here, I could attack, send back post combat, bounce it, replay seal, replay orc. Anyways, I'm just trying to justify how good seals mean. It's interesting tech. Okay, guys, here we are in the quarterfinals, and we're playing DMX, DM4X, and they are typically a Doomsday player. And I don't hate our Doomsday matchup. Reveal our cat. Oh, we both have cats. Oh, interesting. Okay. Is DM playing Control? My hand is not great if they are. If they're playing Combo, it's pretty good. I think I'm going to try it. Stock up here. Thunder Trap Trainer. How do I feel about Thunder Trap Trainer? This does give them the ability to force, but I think that's okay. They have a blue mana floating. I am somewhat nervous about an Ancestral being found. I don't think I can stop this. Yeah, hopefully they don't do anything here. Doesn't look like it. Okay. So obviously I would love to have another Mox here and be able to wasteland. But 1, 2, 3. Do I want to play Wasteland here? I think so. I mean, they're countering this 100% of the time if they have a force, right? Oh, interesting. They have a PO here. This feels like a PO. Flame of Anur. Well, we're going to stop that if we can. And we did stop it. Okay. Okay, they have another land. Yeah, stock up's a real good one. Jeez. Okay. They know I have the Wasteland here. There are concerns like, I mean, I could double waste them here. I think I'm going to. Oh, Spell Pierce was a nice one. Because I think they have Ancestral in hand. I'm not going to fetch here. Unless they Ancestral, of course. Portable Hole. Yeah, we're going to counter that one. They might have swords here. If they force us, I'm not even worried about it. Yep, PO. Okay. All right. Our brainstorm locked. Here we go. All right. So we want Null Rod. I think Long Goodbye in this matchup is just superior. Maybe I'll bring a consign just so I have more blue cards. Like maybe Momentum Breaker is fine, another Momentum Breaker. Consign in the matchup is not great. Where Consign can help you, you can get things like a Portable Hole trigger, can get a Flame of Manure trigger, it can get the trigger off of the Thunder Trap trainers. I like our setup here, guys. Seal of Removal is probably really bad, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's awkward, but we're on the draw. Chance to find another, like a black source. We do have some counter magic here. Long Goodbye and Momentum Breaker are not looking overly good here. Is this a keep? Yeah, probably. I just told them I have Force of Will in hand. Oops. Yep. Pretty good. It worked for them. Yeah, a little bit awkward here. Yep. We'll just pull Lurrus here. I don't want them having a stock up if I can prevent it. Okay, I've had my answer all the way around here. So we are looking for a land here. A black source would be ideal. Okay, that's really bad for me, guys. Yep, we're getting buried here, unfortunately. Couldn't get the constructs going, which is not great for me, but guess we just get a jet, right? Hopefully they feel safe to do Lurrus here under their bauble. Their stock up. I mean, they're spinning their tires over there. It's not the end all be all for me. We're losing this game, but not by a ton. I'm going to Bowmaster in response to this because they can PO with that, and they will do it in response to my Bowmaster being cast. Okay. You take your breaks where you can get them. Land so I can blue source so I can hard cast negation. Yikes. Unfortunately, I can't do much here, but I do have long goodbye up if they go the Lurrus route. All right, blue card. Bowmaster's is pretty good. So I can't stop them from getting Vexing Bauble back. That's the only thing they have here. So I do think I am going to just proactively throw the Bowmasters in here. If they force a will, I think it's fine. Made a mistake there with my mana. Should have left the blue source open so they were playing would respect my spell pierce. Just a subtle thing, but it does matter. They might be just saving their force of will to protect their Lurrus, which is really good for me with long goodbye. Play the Mox here now. Uh-oh, they do have something else. Oh no. Okay, so they're gonna just use the bauble. They're not gonna use the bauble? They didn't cast the bauble. Well, we're going to long goodbye this. Okay. It's not what I'm looking for. Okay, we got lethal on the table here, guys. The Flame of Anur would do it, or Fourth Earlingus. Oh, they can only PO two. Okay, they're not conceding. They're at one life. Yuck. Do they just get a fourth here? Yeah, we could lose from this spot. Yeah, there's a massive Fourth Earlingus. Oh, okay, that's not so bad. I mean, it's kicked. Let's see what they get. Okay. Inflame. Yep. Well, they can remove all my stuff here. 4 in hand. I'm just 1 mana short is the issue. Flame deals 5 damage, right? And they get to draw cards. I can't really attack. Like, are they going to flame me end a turn here? I'm just 1 mana short is the issue. Just going to attack with my Orc army. They have to untap their Mana Vault or they die. I have a feeling they might go for this here. I'm going to not do anything past turn. Okay. They have a lot of mana. 5 cards in hand. Cannot stop the Portable Hole. I'm not going to fight over that. I'm going to fight over the flame. Okay. All right, I will cycle my Lauren revealed here. Okay, they are going for it. Three cards left in hand. Do they have a counter spell, guys? They do. Yep. All right, that's pretty good for them. Bowmaster off the top. Nope, well, we got a frog. Look, they were two random cards off the top, guys, and it's totally possible that they've bricked. Frog does represent lethal here. Nope, they've just PO'd here. Okay. Yep, right at the hair of their chinny chin chin, guys. I like how we played it. I guess it's just a big fourth here. We do die to a fourth. There is the fourth. Okay. Fails to find. There's the portable hole. Okay. Look, guys, Bowmaster off the top. They cannot force a will me either. No, I guess they have hard cast force now. 1, 2, 3. So they could have a force of will still. Bowmaster, guys. we do die here because they have the fourth. It's going to be enough. All right, I do like consign a little bit more on the play. That long goodbye was really good there, getting that Lurrus. I thought we had come back in that game after feeling down for so long. All right. I don't know. I want to play Magic, right? Like, oh my God. All right. I kept it already. Oops. It's pretty disappointing. I don't know what possessed me to make a move so quickly there. I mean, if we find a land here, we're in decent shape. Okay. Um, must be getting a bit tired. It's not where you want to have a little bit of a brain lapse, but we were better to mulligan to 5 there than keep a no lander on the play. We have lots of hands that can get you back into the game. Brainstorm. Yeah, that's probably fine. I might be aggressive here and counter something because I don't want to discard next turn if I don't find a land. Maybe they're mana locked. Nope. All right. Well, we do have 18, or I guess 17 lands in our deck. We did take out the swamp. And they do it during our turn. We probably do not win this fight. Yeah, it's pretty heart wrenching. No, Rod? All right. Well, look, guys, it just is what it is. I can't even hold up Pierce here, guys, for PO. Hmm. So disappointed. Yep. Interesting. They're not even concerned about my Bowmaster. They must have removal. Well, they have Flame. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yep. They have 7. A no rod would be good here. Hmm. No. I could do Lurrus. Okay, that's going to be enough for me to concede here. I can't do anything against what they're doing. I'm going to have a 3-3. Force and Pyro up. And they have a Sapphire in hand. So they're drawing like 4 cards. Look, this game is over, but let's see if they make a mistake here. DM's a pretty good player. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like we obviously made a mistake keeping a no lander on the play. Like I just don't even know what I was thinking. I was so jaded that I had to go down to 5. I don't know. But obviously, that was a mistake and the biggest mistake of my tournament so far. I think it's one thing if you have a game to give where you do something extremely greedy like that, but in a game 3, you don't really want to be doing that. And yes, if I had a ripped a land in the turn 2, this would have been a very different game. We didn't. We went 4 turns before we found a land, maybe 5 actually, and we just died. I'm going to go after my Mox or my 3/3. Yeah. All right, we can scoop. We're not winning from here. But yeah, anyways, we also got them down to 1 life in game 2. What could we have done differently, if anything? Like, I felt like we played really well to that point. Um, I don't know, I have to go back and watch. But yeah, guys, a little bit of a disappointing end, losing in the quarters here. I felt like we certainly could have won that match. And, you know, mulliganing to 5 probably still was losing, despite we do have draws that can get us out of that involving Ancestral. Big Black Lotus plays turn 1, that sort of thing, but obviously not optimal. And yeah, I don't know. This deck just continues to be good. And I do like the way it's configured. Big fan of Momentum Breaker. Seal Removal, it threatened a couple times today. Like, I actually think this card could have some chops, to be perfectly honest with you, when you're bouncing, opposing frogs, Masticores, Hollow Ones, whatever it is. It is a cheap recursion spell that will allow you to get through with your creatures when it matters. So, I don't know. I'll continue to think about it, and perhaps I'll test it again. I felt like it was pretty good today. And certainly against something like White Initiative, even, like, that's pretty powerful, sending stuff back to their hand for 1 mana. But yeah, guys, please do like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to see you next time.